y'all living? How y'all feeling? Feels so good to be back with y'all. Didn't get a show in last week, but I'm back here today, Monday, December 11th. And we got a good one for you. And if you're new to the show, it's the breaks, baby. So let's get into it.
And these are the breaks. These are the breaks. You know what it is.
Let's get into it. I just want to start off with a little college basketball, not much, but I will be working on, bringing you some more college basketball content. I just want to talk about Bronny James, man. Made his USC debut. We all know what happens when he suffered that cardiac arrest a couple months back. But yeah, Bronny made his debut for USC yesterday. In 17 minutes played, he had 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. So I know a lot of people look at that stat sheet and say, oh, he only scored 4 points. Yeah, but in limited minutes, first game back after what he went through, that's a pretty nice game. He did a little bit of everything, so you love to see that. It's hard to say what his role is going to be on this team. I know they got some guys who could fill it up and score, so we'll have to wait and see. And I know you guys know Michael and Fredo, so you'll have to check in with them because I know they'll have more on that, as they cover USC. But he was also 1 for 3 from the three-point line and 1 for 2 from the free throw line, so very active in that game. And a shout out to Bronny James. I can't imagine what that was like for LeBron and forgot his wife's name, Savannah, I believe. I can't imagine what it's like for them as parents, you know what I'm saying, to see Bronny out there after, what he had to overcome. So I know that was super dope for the family. So, yeah, just wanted to touch on that. Now we're going to move on to some NBA news. The Oklahoma City Thunder are looking to have a new arena built, and I don't like this for the residents, man. I think it's kind of messed up. So the arena is expected to cost around $900 million, right? But the owners are only, I guess, going to be pitching in about 5% or $50 million, and they're expecting the residents to cover the rest of the cost of the stadium through taxes, which is unfair to me. I'm pretty sure you guys would agree. I mean, it's basically a 95-5 split or something like that, and it's like, bro, that's just so crazy. Like, that doesn't make sense at all, economic sense, for the community, for the residents. So I know they're pissed about that. They're supposed to be voting on it sometime this week, so we'll see how that goes, but I mean, the Thunder have been playing in a mediocre arena since they've moved from Seattle. I also know that $70 million is supposed to be coming from a pre-approved tax that was supposed to go into improvements for the stadium that they're in now, which they haven't made any, so we'll see what goes on with that. But, yeah, that's just crazy, man. That's not fair for the fans at all. But I want to jump into some standings also. You know what I'm saying? We're going to hit you with the Eastern Conference standings real quick. Boston Celtics, Orlando Magic are 2, Milwaukee Bucks 3, Sixers at 4, Pacers at 5, and the Cavs at 6. Super surprised by the Orlando Magic, and I'm pretty sure we all are. Like, they're balling right now. Did not expect them to be in the top 6, let alone the second seed. But they're definitely a team to watch out for. Jumping over to the West, we got the Timberwolves 1, the Thunder 2, the Mavericks 3, the Nuggets 4, the Lakers 5, and the Kings at 6. I'm definitely surprised by the Timberwolves being the number 1 seed. I did have them making a jump this year and being top 6, but I can't say I had them as the number 1 seed. The Thunder, they're balling. They're not surprising to me either. I figured with Chet coming back based off of what they did last year, I figured they would have a good season this year. But to be number 2, that's a surprise to me as well. And the Mavericks still up there. It looked like they were going to start dropping for a minute, but, Luka and Kyrie holding it down. Kyrie's actually out tonight, so it's going to be the Luka show. But, yeah, the Nuggets, like I said before, man, I think the Nuggets are kind of just cruising. They know what it takes. They've been there. They've gone through it. They won it last year. So I think we'll really see them turn it up in the second half of the season and really start racking up those wins again.
Winner!
But those are the current standings in the NBA. And going back to the Magic and the Timberwolves, are they a team that could possibly win the Eastern Conference Finals? I don't know. I'm just saying they're 15-7. They're 10-2 at home. And they're 5-5 on road. That's the only part where I'm like, I don't think, maybe not. If they could find some balance and start winning some more games on the road, then they're definitely going to be a team to watch in the Eastern Conference, especially come playoff time. So definitely got to watch out for the Orlando Magic. And then as far as the Timberwolves, are they a team that could win the West or at least make it to the Eastern or Western Conference Finals? They're 17-4, 10-1 at home, 7-3 on the road. So they got a, better balance as far as home and win record. Dominant at home, number 1 defensive rating, which is a surprise to me. I knew they'd be a good defensive team, but number 1 defensive rating, they're doing their thing right now. So, yeah, that's what we got for the NBA. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back in a couple minutes with some baseball news because there was a lot of moves that were made. I know you guys know about the big one, but a lot of small little low-key moves that I think are going to help a lot of teams, man. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with that in a minute.
Hey everyone, I'm Neko Gwumike with the LA Sparks, and you are watching Infanity Television.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Chanel Gwumike, and you're watching Infanity Television. Boom.
Shout out Infanity Television. This is Juju Watkins. See y'all.
Welcome back. Appreciate y'all sticking with us. We're going to jump into some MLB news. And by now, I'm sure you guys all heard the breaking news over the weekend. Shohei Ohtani leaves my beloved Anaheim Angels to go to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Not surprised. I was holding on to hope just with Ron Washington coming on board, a great manager who's proven. Hasn't won the big one yet, but took the Rangers to back-to-back World Series in 2010 and 2011. So with him coming on board as the manager, they already said Mike Trout's not going anywhere, but we know how that goes. And then with the healthy Rendon to start the season, I was really hoping that there was a chance Ohtani would stay. You know, he's already familiar with the Orange County area, just the organization and all of that. But, I mean, L.A. is only, 40, 45 minutes up the road. So it's not like it's a big adjustment or anything, And he wants to win, which is understandable, man. I mean, Angels had the 2 best players in baseball, 2 of the greatest players ever. Ohtani's already one of the greatest ever. You had 2 of the greatest players ever on one team for 6 years and couldn't win anything, couldn't make the playoffs, nothing. So I completely understand him wanting to win, try to solidify his legacy, really solidify his legacy amongst the greats by winning that championship. And for the Dodgers, how is there any team that would have been a great move for? But for the Dodgers, as loaded as they already are, man, you add him with Freddie Freeman and Mookie. Good Lord, I would hate to be a pitcher and have to face those 3 guys to start the game. Like, I know pitchers are going to be shaking in their boots. And I also think it's a great move for the Dodgers because with their farm system being so loaded and them having so much good young talent, it's not like they have to scramble and allocate money in different positions. Oh, we got to spend this much at a third baseman. Oh, we got to bring in a shortstop. They can afford to go pay heavy with 3 guys because they got so much good talent that they can call up and rely on if there's an injury or something like that. We saw with James Outman last year. He balled out. I love the move with Mookie going to the infield. I think that's going to help the defensive lot. We already saw how he held things down last year. They re-signed Jason Hayward. He was a huge piece for them last year. So it's dope to see the veteran get another contract, and get back to the Dodgers playing meaningful baseball. Dodger fans are going to call me a hater, but it's all good. It is what it is. I still got the Atlanta Braves winning the World Series next year. We could save that discussion for another day, but they're loaded, man, and it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be a dope race in the NL in the National League to see who can make it to the World Series. But yeah, as far as Dave Roberts though, you gotta get there, dog. You gotta win in the next 3 years. You have to at least win one and make another appearance, whether you win or lose. But you definitely have to win one within the next 3 years, and you got to make another appearance, or you might be on the hot seat and on your way out. There's no excuse, man. With this talent, I mean, you've already had a loaded team the last couple of years. Now you add Otani. Come on, man. There's no excuse. So, I mean, you got 100-plus bombs between those three guys. You know, all three of them bat over 300. You know, you still got some nice pieces behind them, Chris Taylor and Peralta and Hayward and Outman and, you know, a bunch of other guys who can help produce. Pitching's nice. You got a nice pitching staff. Pitching rotation still nice. Dustin May. You got Pepio. Hopefully Bueller's back, you know. So, yeah, they still got some nice pitching. So, Dodgers, no excuse. But want to move on to some other moves that happened in the MLB. A lot of low-key moves, you know, nothing big that broke the headlines or anything, but some moves that I think are really going to help some teams out. The Yankees got Alex Verdugo. Obviously, them getting Juan Soto was a huge move, but them getting Verdugo, I think, is a good move, too. You bring in another outfielder that will help create balance in that lineup. And if you ask me, this is just my opinion. I think the Yankees need to DH Judge as much as possible this season. You got Verdugo, you got Soto, and you got the young kid Jason Dominguez who proved that he's going to be a stud. I would run them in the outfield as much as possible, at least to start the season, just to see how things go. See how the defense looks with those three guys, and DH Judge to try to keep them as healthy as possible. We all see what happens when Aaron Judge gets hurt. They're a completely different team. Production takes a huge dip, and they struggle. They plain and simple, they just struggle when Judge isn't in the lineup. He's that dangerous and that good and that great of a hitter. So that's just my opinion. Now that they've made these moves, I would DH Judge, try to keep him as healthy as possible because he's had injury issues the last couple seasons, and let's just see what happens. Jeimer Candelario to the Reds. I think that's a great move. You add a veteran player to that locker room. Joey Votto is most likely on his way out. They didn't extend him. He's 40 years old, so that's most likely pointing to him probably retiring. And if he does, it's a great veteran to come in and you know, just maintain that veteran leadership in that locker room. Reds are loaded. A lot of great young talent. They could easily make a run next year for the National League Championship. I'm not going to say the World Series, but they could definitely make a run at the National League Championship. Like I said, a lot of great young talent. So Jeimer Candelario to the Reds, I think, is a very underrated move, and it's going to pay huge dividends for that team. And Eduardo Rodriguez leaves the Detroit Tigers and goes to the Arizona Diamondbacks, which I think is a great, phenomenal move for that team. You now have a four-man rotation of Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Brandon Pfaadt, and now you add Eduardo Rodriguez, and then they got the young kid Tommy Henry as well in there. I think that's dangerous. We saw Gallen kind of struggle on the road last year in the postseason, but you got another pitcher like that in Rodriguez that could just help maintain and, you know, sustain some balance in that rotation. I think that's a great move, another underrated move. You got a stud in Carroll. I think he's going to have another great season last year. He was Rookie of the Year this year. A lot of great expectations for the Diamondbacks. I think they can make another run at it. Obviously, the Dodgers are what they are now, but the Diamondbacks are going to be another tough team that's going to be tough to get out, especially in the playoffs. So, yeah. There's another Sonny Gray to the St. Louis Cardinals. I think that's another great pickup after losing Jack Flaherty. That's a huge loss. Miles Mikolas gives up a lot of hits. He's a ground ball pitcher, but he does give up a lot of hits, and he's prone to give up some runs. Lance Lynn, I know they brought him back, but he's prone to get lit up. You know, he was up and down, was getting roughed up in Chicago, came to the Dodgers, had some good outings for the Dodgers, but then, you know, like I said, he kind of slipped and just, you know, got back to who he is. So, yeah, I think Sonny Gray is a great addition for that team. I love that for them. And we also got David Fletcher to the Atlanta Braves, which I think is another key move. You think about the Braves, man, as loaded as they are, you got Acuna, you got Harris, you got God, I'm going blank right now, but they're so loaded, man. You got all these dudes in that lineup, and now you add David Fletcher that adds great depth. It's a great bat to have off the bench. It's a great defender. You know, he has really good defense. So I really like that for Atlanta in case an injury or something like that happens. That's a great player to bring off the bench. And just, as always, like I say, just help maintain balance in the lineup, you know, and just a player who can actually contribute, you know, and he's good at both, good hitter and good defender. So, you know, I don't think their offense would take a dip or anything like that, you know, if a injury were to happen, like I said, just because they're so loaded. So that's the baseball news that I have for y'all, man. Another quick commercial break. Not a long one, real quick. We're going to be right back. Got some NBA stuff coming up. Definitely got the bets. I know you missed out on the bets last week, so I got y'all, man. I'm going to make up for that. I got y'all. But, yeah, just hang tight. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, I'm Neko Gumike with the LA Sparks, and you are watching Infanity Television.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Chanel Gwimike, and you're watching Infanity Television. Boom.
Shout out Infanity Television. This is Juju Watkins. See y'all.
All right, welcome back. We're going to get into some NFL news, man. The Buffalo Bills got a rare win against the Kansas City Chiefs, winning 20-17. And Mahomes and Andy Reid were pissed. I don't know if you guys saw the call, but dude was offsides, though. I mean, I know that's a play Mahomes, can't see, and I don't know how Reid or, one of the other coaches didn't see it. But I'm sure when they go back and watch the replay, they'll be like, oh, damn, Tony. Yeah, dude was definitely offsides. Great play by Kelsey, though. Great heads-up play by Kelsey. I know it's a bummer, though, that it had to get called back on a penalty. That's always the worst, man. Your team has a great play, and it's called back because of a holding or offsides or a false start, something like that. So, that was a tough call for the Chiefs because they probably would have won that game had that not happened. And, and then they talking about they didn't get a warning. What you mean you didn't get a warning? Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's normal in the NFL. I've never heard that. I've never heard of a player or coach say, oh, we didn't get it. Normally they give us a warning throughout the game, and they just made that call out of nowhere. I mean, regardless of if that's what they do or not, your dude was still outside, so that's besides the point. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. The Philadelphia Eagles, tough loss against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I did have the Philadelphia Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens meeting each other in the Super Bowl. I picked the Ravens. I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, yeah, sure, you had the Ravens. Nah, I really did, man. I love Lamar Jackson, and I really just want to see him get there and make it. I really want to see him get there and win one. He already has the MVP, so if he could just get that Lombardi and add it to it, man, he gets a lot of hate, not enough love. Should definitely get more credit than what he does get. Because the dude's a stud. He's a baller. But, yeah, tough loss for the Philadelphia Eagles to the Cowboys. It's not looking like they're going to make it, man. Just looking how this defense is. The secondary's been terrible all year. They've been struggling, getting lit up. And I don't see what adjustments or how they can improve at this point in the season. We're more than halfway past the season. So, I mean, once you hit about, I say 6 to 8 weeks, you pretty much are who you are as a team as far as habits, tendencies, personnel, all of that. So it's not looking good for the Eagles. I mean, if they can figure it out, they got to quick because the season's rapidly coming to an end. And they got a great run defense, but it's like you got a great run defense and you can stop the run, but then you don't have the secondary to stop the team when it's on, third down. When you do get the teams on a third down, a third and long, I don't know what other teams' first down conversion rate is against the Eagles, but I'm pretty sure it's a nice percentage. Just because, like I said, that's secondary. Woo! But they got to try and find balance quick, man, because it's looking like the Niners are going to make it out the NFC. If I had to pick right now, that would be my pick. And speaking of the Niners, we got MVP talk, man. We got Dak Prescott in the MVP conversation. And it's mighty funny how people want to bash Dak when he's struggling and throwing picks because it's the Cowboys. But now that he's balling and he's winning games, don't nobody want to say nothing. Boom. Don't nobody want to give Dak his props. What's up with that, man? Come on, y'all. We got to keep it 100, for real. You can't just be one-sided with the arguments. If you're going to bash a player when he's playing bad, you got to give him his credit when he's showing up and playing how we expect him to, right? This is not a surprise from Dak Prescott. The only thing that's a surprise is that he hasn't won. But as far as numbers and being, a top quarterback production-wise, he's up there, and he has been, So, but, as far as the MVP talk, Dak is 312 completions on 450 attempts for a 69.3 completion percentage, which is good. It's pretty good. He has 3,505 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. That's what everybody's been getting on Dak about, right? The interceptions, the turnovers, and, he tightened it up. He's improved on that. It helps when you got the weapons that they got. Let's be real. But, he's playing great, man. He's playing phenomenal ball right now. And we got Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers. One of my dudes, Martin Weiss, shout out Martin, he said that Brock wasn't going to win MVP and that he didn't have a chance. I kind of disagree with that, man. The numbers don't lie. 252 completions on 359 attempts for a 70.2 completion percentage. People want to call him a game manager, this and that. Regardless of what it is, man, he's balling out. He has 3,553 passing yards. It's pretty good for a game manager, if you ask me. 25 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. So that's the MVP talk. I don't think it's close between anybody else. I think it's going to come down to those two.
Bye-bye.
I think that's set in stone. I know you got Lamar Jackson in there. I know you got Jalen Hurts in there. But, yeah, I see it being either Dak or Brock. If I had to pick somebody right now, just based off where the teams stand exactly right now, not talking about predictions, what I think is going to happen, none of that. But just where the teams are at right now, where these guys' numbers are at right now, I'm leaning more towards Dak. It's kind of hard, though. It's apples and oranges, as they say. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you go wrong with either pick. You can make a great argument for both guys. But I would probably have to say Dak. I really like how the Cowboys are playing. I think this could be the year, y'all. Hey, I know you're going to call me crazy because we all, a lot of people, so most of the fans, the Cowboy fans, they always say it every year. Oh, this the team. We're going to make it. We're going to do it. But I really think they could, man. They got a decent defense. The offense is balling right now. They got weapons. CeeDee Lamb's going crazy. I love how he's playing. Brandon Cooks, so underrated, man. Brandon Cooks, he's another player who doesn't get enough love or enough respect or props, man. He's balling right now, and he's balled everywhere he's been. He gets 1,000 yards in his sleep, catches everything, good after the catch. But this could be the year the Cowboys make it. And the Niners, like I said, it looks like they're going to be the ones to make it, and I'm pretty sure they will. Anything could happen come playoff time. I get that, but they're just so balanced, man. They got a good O-line. They got a great defense, pass rush. The running backs, they got a good running game. They got good weapons at receiver. Obviously, Purdy, 3,500 yards. So it's going to be tough, man, coming down the stretch. There's a lot of good teams, but I don't think they're good enough to compete with those two, especially when it comes to winning the conference. You guys don't know, but I'm a huge Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. And no, ain't no bandwagon, none of that. I've been a Bucs fan since I was a kid. Since when I started liking them, Brad Johnson was the quarterback, and then it was I forgot who it was after that. But, man, we've had Jeff Garcia. I remember when we had Jeff Garcia. I remember when we had Bruce Gradkowski, Josh Johnson, all those guys, man. So I've been rocking with the Bucs for a minute. They're in first place in their division. I know that division's terrible. The NFC South, you got 3 teams at 6-7. I don't like that rule. How you can have a losing record, and just because you win your division, you're automatically in. I don't like that. I think they need to change that. Just take the teams who have the top records. Same with the NBA. Whoever has the top best records, just take them. But, hey, we got a chance. We got life. I know we ain't going to do anything, but anything could happen when you get in the playoffs, man. Anything could happen. The Vikings, if they end up making it, I could see them making some noise. You know what I'm saying? The Steelers call me crazy. When Pickett comes back, if they could squeak in there with that defense, if they could just find a little more success on offense and open it up, I could see them making a run at it, or at least giving teams a battle. You know, at least giving some of these top teams a tough game. The Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Bills, you know. You hate seeing blowouts in the playoffs, you know, but obviously in the AFC, it's looking like the Dolphins, you know, Dolphins and the Ravens. I feel like that's what it's going to come down to for the AFC Championship. So right now, I'm making my predictions. Even though I said it's the Ravens and the Eagles in the Super Bowl, I'm going to give you my conference predictions. I think it'll be the Ravens and the Dolphins, which that's not a, you know, hard pick. I know it's like, oh, that's easy. But, yeah, I'm going to take the Dolphins and the Ravens to make it out of the AFC. And for the NFC, I think it's going to come down to the Cowboys and the Niners. So that basically means I don't think the Eagles are going to make it unless they can fix this defense, because you got to have defense in the playoffs, man. It really does win championships. You can score all the points, but if you can't get stops, you're in trouble. And that goes for basketball as well. You can't just expect to score 125, 120-something every single night and expect to win. You can skate by in the regular season, but in the playoffs, it's the best of the best. Everybody's games are, you know, at their best. And, yeah, you're going to have balance. So those are my conference predictions. Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting coming down the stretch. Let's see what happens. C.J. Stroud, man, that's what I wanted to bring up. C.J. Stroud, I hate to see that happen to my man C.J. Stroud. He went down with the concussion. I know the Texans kind of came back down to earth over the last couple weeks, but I think he's still a shoe-in for Rookie of the Year. But he's from the county that I live in, so I got mad love for C.J. Stroud, man, coming out of Rancho Cucamonga High, going to Ohio State, what he's been doing the last couple weeks. But, yeah, he went down, took a nasty hit, you know, hit his head on the turf. But hopefully he's back soon. It'll probably miss next week. But, yeah, they're another team that if they could somehow get in, I could see them giving the team a competitive game. I'm not saying they're going to win or make a run at it, but at least make some teams work for it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just let these teams get blowout wins and just skate to the conference championship or the championship, you know? So that's what I got to say about that. But, yeah, another commercial break, as y'all know, and then I'm going to come back with some NFL bets. And then we got the NBA bets. And this time I got a lot more player props for y'all. I told y'all I was going to, you know, try to include some more player props. I did that. So, yeah, let's get ready for another good week, baby. See y'all in a bit.
Hey, everyone. I'm Neko Gumike with the LA Sparks, and you are watching Infanity Television.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Chanel Gwimike, and you're watching Infanity Television. Boom.
Shout out Infanity Television. This is Juju Watkins. See y'all.
All right, y'all, as y'all know, it's the part of the show where we try to make some dough. So let's get right into it. NBA player props that I like tonight. Excuse me. Jimmy Butler over 25.5 points. No Bam Adebayo. No Tyler Hero. Lock that in. Desmond Bane over 26.5 points going against the Mavericks. You know he's going to have to bring it because Luka brings it every night. So I love Brunson over 20 or Desmond Bane over 26.5. Brunson, I like Jalen Brunson over 25.5. He's averaging 24.8 on the season, 24.6 in his last 5. So lock that in. Trae Young over 28.5 against the Denver Nuggets. It's the Denver Nuggets, so he's going to have to bring it, and you always bring your best when you're playing the defending champs. He's averaging 25.8 in his career against Denver, so I definitely love that. Fox over 31 points. He's averaging 31.8 in his last 5. Should be an up and down high-scoring game. I got Luka over 54.5 PRA. No Kyrie. And then for value, you could take Derrick Jones Jr. over 13 points. He's averaging 16.2 in his last 5. A shout out to Derrick Jones for really improving his game. When he came in, he was just a high flyer, just a dunker. Really worked on that three-point shot. He's a formidable three-point shooter now. So those are the player props I got for y'all. We got 2 Monday night games. Packers -6, total at 37. Rocking with the Packers -6 against the Giants. Lock that in. No Jair Alexander, but it's all right. They still going to get the dub and cover the spread. Titans and the Dolphins. Dolphins -14. The total at 46. I'm taking the Dolphins -14. That offense is going to be too much, too explosive. Titans don't have enough firepower to keep up. Those are my bets of the week, man. Make sure y'all lock that in. Appreciate y'all. Much love. Hope y'all have a great one. DeMar J. Morris. I'm out.